Hey, how'd my father die?
49 times we fought that beast, your old man and me. Had a chicken head with duck feet, with a woman's face too.
Oh, that's rad.
It was waiting in the bushes for us. Then it ripped off your dad's face. He was screaming something awful. In fact, there was this huge mess, and I had to change the floors.
The floors?
You see his blood, it drained into the boards, and I had to change them. But we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. 'Cause something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love.
Yo, never knew my dad, he didn't care about me. Dead horizon is all my macro binoculars see. Moisture farming all my life and not a drop spilled. My aunt and uncle double sons and sipping blue milk. My aunt and uncle double sons, I'm sick of blue milk.
But then a desert hobo came and told me we all got a chicken duck woman thing waiting for us. Every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Yeah, something's waiting in the bushes of love. Yeah, every day I worry all day about what's waiting in the bushes of love. Something's waiting in the bushes for us. Something's waiting in the bushes of love. Hold me.
Do not wear that outfit again. But if you wanna keep it clean, because I want to fit in. Sorry, you're just not terribly important to me. Did you know that Whitney Houston's debut LP had 4 #1 singles on? Did you know that Christy, there are no girls with good personalities? I don't think we should see each other anymore. It never was supposed to be. Gotta return some videotapes. Have to return some videotapes. Did you know I'm utterly insane? I like to dissect girls that ate some of their brains. Gotta return some videotapes. I'm really late. Gotta return some videotapes. I guess I'm probably returning videotapes. Gotta return some
I'm super excited for that one too.
Joe is the beard I'm going for.
Is that what you're going for?
Yeah.
Joe says, I'll back Replicator when Rob tells me I'm his favorite. You are my favorite, Joe.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Studio says tonight is one of the greatest launches. Too bad Malin is not here to see it. Actually, that part is okay.
Well, in his defense, he's literally on another stream talking about it.
I know. That's like a
That blew my mind. That I gotta leave. It's like I gotta leave my meeting with Paul McCartney so I can go do a podcast with some losers about like the Beatles. I'm not calling them losers, but
Wait, who are the losers? Are you getting
No.
yourself in trouble?
That was a bad thing to say. That's not what I meant. They're not losers.
Who are these losers, John?
Okay. Joe M. Sontag says, "Hail John and Dale meeting that we've all been waiting for."
That guy, Joe Sontag, is the guy who showed you stuff.
I didn't.
Oh, Joe's a great guy. Joe, you know what? He's a great guy.
No, I didn't.
Joe did a great show.
I meant my theoretical Beatles podcasters were losers. I did not mean my fellow commentators were losers. Not at all.
Bro, good save.
Do you think they'll buy it?
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Man, a bunch of you here already. Look at the chat. Already hopping. I love it. Replicator said, I can't hear anything they're saying. It's all right, Rob. It's all right. I feel for you. Welcome, everybody, to JMS Talks Comics Live. Now, a lot of people told me before, like, I don't do my intro for myself that I used to do on Odd and stuff, and I almost forgot it. So I'm going to try to do it now. So let's see if I can remember. I'm the very talented, the very sexy, the very distinguished, always narcissistic, but never vain. Staunch defender Rob Liefeld, and Gina Carano, and a lover of all things 90s. Joseph Michael Sontag, or Joe. I messed it up. Joe Sontag, if you prefer, or as the Pope likes to call me, JMS. I need to do that every time now, so I don't mess it up. But this is a new show because Odd and Stuff isn't around anymore right now, with Sean taking care of his ailing mother. So shout out to Sean as always, and prayers out to his mom. Hopefully we get him back soon and we can do Odd and Stuff again. But until then, I decided to pick up a second show on this channel so we can talk to creators, look at their books, because I think it's very important for us to, help each other out. And I haven't done that very much on this channel yet. So I'm definitely do that now. And I got some awesome guests I can't wait to talk to. So let's get rolling. Before we do, let's say hi to the chat, because you guys are rocking and rolling. We got Jamie East in the house. Hey, darling. Oh my God, for once, I'm actually going to be on time. That is awesome. Haven't seen you in a second. I hope you are doing well. Sumo Thori, what's going on, brother? Hail. Got 80s Made Consumer. Hail to you. Astro Zombie, a member of this channel. Hail. Good to see you, brother. Oh, sorry. I've been drinking a lot of water and a lot of pop. Got Matt in the house as well. Good to see you, man. Dirk. My man. Pouring in here. I like that. We got Runko Pop. Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up to you? Hail to you. Obviously, we got the Replicator in the house. Past Master Dan, what I miss? Nothing yet. We just started. You got here just in time. You got Jay Ryan in the house as well. My brother, Mike McMahon. Turn your headphones on then. Yes. You tell him, man. You tell him what is up. I'm telling you. All these people. Let's see. I think that might be. Oh, Scary Batman Jenkins, another member of the channel. Appreciate you, brother, for being here. Love the name. One of my favorite names. Daniel's in the house. Hail to you. Got Mighty Magic as well. Good to see you guys. Chauncey's in charge. He's the man. We got Carl. By the way, I've said this before, and I'll always say this, that Carl was the first person to ever send me a super chat. I will never forget that. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. All right, let's get rolling with this show. We have Camel Moon and Izik Bell. I mean, this is going to be awesome. Let's talk to these guys. Welcome to the show, Camel and Izik.
What's up, guys? How are you? It's going great. Thanks for having us.
You have that shock jock voice down. It's pretty impressive. I like it.
I
Do
was
I?
thinking the same thing, man. You got
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit
I was
down.
like, what is this at 9 o'clock? Am I listening to the radio? Right?
Very
it could-
professional.
Yeah.
Somebody told me as long as somebody says I don't have a face for radio, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
You
know,
got the
like
beautiful
voice
face to go with the voice,
Yeah.
man. You're good.
That's all I like to. That's all I care about. You know, I'm a very vain person.
Well, you said you were narcissistic, so
very
I
narcissistic.
assumed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very
should
narcissistic.
just pay
but
you
never vain. That's what it
compliments
is. Yeah. Got Mighty Magic saying, "Hail Isaac." Yeah,
What's
this
up?
is of all the names, I get a lot of people saying, "When's Isaac coming on here?" You have grown quite a fan base, man. So
Oh,
it's awesome to have you
that's
on here
good to
with
hear.
Camel Moon. Yeah, I mean you're doing everything right, much like Camel Moon is. I mean, it's cool to be able to converse with successful crowdfunders like you guys. And have you here on my show. Which, by the way, very first show. This is the first show. We're gonna try to do this every Thursday if we can.
Okay.
If there's people to promote, we're gonna try to get them on here and promote and try to get hopefully get some sales, get some backers, get some people signed up for projects. All that we have to do to spread the word. Because we got to
Sounds good.
Word. Spread
Well,
it.
thanks for having me on. Then I didn't know exactly what was going to be happening here.
I mean, when you reached out, it was Camel Moon. We're going to talk about his book. When you came on, I was like, let's just get make sure people know you in this neck of the woods. Because when we've had you on Out and Stuff before, and I think Sean and I were encouraging you to do Indiegogo at some point. I think you're going to do that, so we can kind of talk a little bit about getting into that realm, because I think this area of crowdfunding fans, you're going to find, I think you do very well. The replicator for 2, because I want to cover about Isaac. Isaac is too attractive for us. What about me, man? Come on, Rob. God. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely want to do a cover for Rob. I mean, he blew me away with the Alan Goldman set of he went full Will Spertasio on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah, that dude is.
I was like, "Fuck! Why didn't I think of that?" Should I not curse on this show? I'm sorry.
Curse away, man.
Right,
Curse
I'll curse
away.
away then.
I offered
dude.
Rob a cover.
You offered Rob a cover?
He declined.
Oh,
man,
he's
that's
too
some
good
shade.
for it, huh?
Very sad. Yeah, it's a sad day for him because now he's not going to make money. So it's fine. Yeah, I don't care.
Rob seems to be pretty good at making money, though. Just saying.
Now.
Rob might know what he's doing. We'll see. We'll see. He might have a future in this whole crowdfunding game. Maybe.
Yeah, it's possible.
Jay Ryan said Camel Moon or Camel's voice borders on car salesman who becomes bent on world domination. I could absolutely see that.
Isn't that Cobra Commander's backstory?
Is it?
I think it is.
I can
think
hear
he's
it
a car
now.
salesman who went ballistic.
I can hear it.
I need a refresh on my GI Joe there. It's been a while. But Camel is going to be on with Mandy at 9, so I don't want to keep you too long because you got a
very
busy
dance
day.
card. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So let's jump into one. What you have going on. You just had a campaign that launched pretty recent, and you're already up to almost $21,000. Like that. That's awesome. 172 backers. Congratulations, man. It's badass.
Yeah, it's going well. We have a lot of high-end backers, which the last campaign, they were all very mid-range. So I think that's, people are interested in the product. They're interested in the add-on tiers. And I think that's why we were able to get such a high dollar amount with a relatively average, I would say, backer count, for only being a week so far.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's awesome. We got Amanda B in the house. Hail, Amanda. Good to see you. She says Durst. You know what's funny is for a long time, people knew me as Durst and Sean as Justin Timberlake. And I haven't been called that much since the campaign dropped. Everybody seems to know my name now, but I appreciate that Amanda still keeps it going. I like that. Was Rob sick? He's better now.
He was sick for like a week. Yeah, he had.
Oh, but not better.
something.
He's still
sniffles. Yeah,
sniffles. I get the sniffles every once in a while.
Yeah.
Know your limits, Rob. Yeah. Rob, he needs to do that. He definitely needs to do that.
So I have a question about Indiegogo.
There we go.
Like with our campaigns, we do have some high tier, some expensive tiers
on Kickstarter.
on Kickstarter.
Yep.
And it's always a little bit cringe because it's like like they don't charge the cards until the campaign is done on Kickstarter.
Right.
So like
yep.
people switch their pledge around as much as they want. So like when we have those like couple $1,000 tiers that someone has, all they have to do is be like, oh, you know, never mind, and it kind of fucks us over. So like we've been really lucky. But so is that not an issue on Indiegogo?
It can be. I mean, the problem with Indiegogo is like, and I've had this issue with this campaign, is that like every now and then you'll get someone who backs at a high tier, and then they realize the next day they don't have grocery money, so they return.
Yeah.
And then it's like I get it. Like I'm not bitter about it or anything. Like I get it, but it's also it becomes aggravating because like for example, like I have a stretch goal at 20K. And then if we had returns, if we had like literally, I think we got to 20,400, and then we had 2 returns, and we went down to $20,030 or something.
Right.
So like we had already broke the stretch goal, and now it's like if it goes back, then it reverts back to like pre-stretch goal where we didn't hit the 20K. And it's like I've already like made the announcement that it's happening. Now, nothing's really going to change. We're not going to go 60 days or whatever it is and not hit it again. But it kind of takes the wind out of the sail a little bit when you go there and it says 19 something. And then on top of that,
like Kickstarter.
Yeah,
not much difference.
On top of that, like I have to pay the credit card fee regardless of whether or not you've decided to back or whatever. So, it can get a little. I mean, it's not a huge.
So that's
amount.
actually an advantage to not charging the cards until the end of the campaign.
Yeah, that would be
interesting.
The one advantage.
So that's why they do that. I always wondered. Yeah, I forgot about credit card processing. It's a bitch.
It's not a huge amount, but it definitely it can add up, especially like if you have 1,000 backers. And then someone tries to cancel you, and you get 500 returns. Like, that's fucking expensive.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. I mean, you go through it quite a bit too. Like when the campaign first launched for Reaper Destroyer, as good as it did that first couple days, like I had a ton of refunds, mostly because I think people were trying to get into the first 100 so they could get the metal card that I was giving away for the first 100. And when they didn't get that, maybe they would refund for a different package or whatever. But it's interesting dealing with the refunds because there's a part of it where you get I had to get over the fact that every once in a while or every time I get a refund, I get a little bit depressed. I'm like, oh shit, nobody likes me. But it was one of those things that you get over and you realize what the whole crowdfunding game is. And I'm new to all this compared to you two guys. Like you guys, Izik, you with Kickstarter and Camel Moon with Indiegogo. I mean, you guys have been through more than I have. So this is still a learning experience for me.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 2 years now. So our first one was 2020 in February. So yeah,
and you're doing great. You're doing great. Yeah, Metal Shade is just taking
you too,
off.
man. You too.
Well, thank you. And that's why when we had you on stuff, we're like, you come over here. Like the Comic Skate community, that big backers. They love good. There's a bunch of people that love like the aesthetic of the art that you have. Like when I saw Metal Shade, I was like, dude, you would kill it. You would absolutely kill it over here.
I know that we must get a bunch of support from you guys anyways. I know that it's kind of like you don't like Kickstarter and stuff, but I mean, I see so many of you guys on the Kickstarter campaign showing love. So
yeah,
I mean,
Camel Moon. Rob wants to remind everybody that Camel Moon is also doing well. Don't forget the moon. Yes, Hail Salad.
Hell yeah, dude, $20,000.
And Hail Salad was over 50 grand. So now you're coming back 20 in a week.
Wrapped about 53 before I took it down. So that one did pretty well too for a first time out. So I was happy with that.
No, that's not pretty well, dude. That's $50,000. That's a lot of fucking
that's
money, bro.
It's a very niche book, and Boots and Heels is kind of niche as well. But like I don't make house style stuff. So getting numbers like that on very esoteric offerings, I think is I'm pretty happy with that. So
yeah, for sure, you should be, man.
Well, you want to let us know a little bit what this book is about because it looks fun as hell.
Oh yeah, so it's called Boots and Heels, and so the first there's an issue 0, which is was my supplemental. I I didn't want to do an ash can because I feel like a lot of people, get those. I was like, well, I'll just do a full book, but it's not necessary. You don't need it. And so issue 0 is the Comics Gators fight the fabulous X-Thems, and they destroy Manhattan. And essentially what happens is it leads to the destruction of the entire planet. And so it sends ripples through time to the year 3210, where 2 superhero time travelers are get a notification that the Earth blew up. So they have to go back in time and stop it. The problem is they're so far into the future, they don't know anything about the past. So they have to recruit a superhero from the 21st century to help them. And his name is the Claude Agent. He's like this urban Zorro type. And it's 12 issues. All of the issues are drawn. They're all between 20 and 28 pages. And so this is phase 1. So it's just for the first 3 issues, not including issue 0. So there'll be 4 phases in total. And really, I just really need to color them, because they're all drawn, and it has like a real classic kind of Copper Age style to it.
For sure.
And that was like definitely, my intent with it. I was like, let's go back to the old school stuff, because that was the stuff that I enjoyed growing up. And so the first arc is 3 issues. It's a full story. So if you want to, cap it off there, you can, or, obviously it'll lead into the next 3 phases. So it's going to be a big fun book.
No, it's awesome. I like continued stories, like that's what I'm doing Reaper Destroyer too. It's not just like a one and done graphic novel. Like I really want to have a continued story, because that's what I grew up, loving when it comes to comics. Like that's graphic novels are cool. They have some great, stories and great art to them, but I like the continuous serials, I guess you could say, of what a comic book is.
I'm with you there, man. It's kind of like a movie versus like a good like HBO series or something. There's just more meat there. Like especially if you get like a good like 5 to 6 seasons. Like something like I think the best example is probably Berserk. Like that is one of the most epic storylines ever, and it's just issue after issue after issue.
Yeah, you get to grow with characters like that.
One thing I tried to do was, in League with, the Silver Copper Age style, was every issue is its own story. It's like, like you'd pick up an issue of, I don't know, X-Men, and there's like a story, and then at the end there's Apocalypse shows up, and then they fight Apocalypse. At the end of that story, Magneto shows up. And so the same thing happens here, where every issue is an episode of that adventure. So it can very easily be sort of digested, as you're moving along. You're like, okay, that was one chapter. This is the next chapter. So you'll get a full story for every issue. And then there's the mini arc, and then there's the full arc. So I would compare it to something like Secret Wars, or, a lot of stuff that was coming out back then.
The original one.
Not the new one, but like the original one, where it's like, oh, this is the issue where Spider-Man gets the black suit. Okay. I get what's happening now. And so I think that because of that, there's enough of an interest there that people will be like, oh, it's nice to read something that isn't required that I have to get every single issue for this. You'll get this a story, 3 stories with 3 issues. So there you go.
We got Tarks9 in the house, member of the channel. Hey, also we have leave me alone, no, please, no. Leave me alone, please, no. Okay, I think I got that one right.
Good one. Great name.
Yeah, my dyslexia, these names right here, all those letters is not good.
Good evening.
Yeah, it took me a second I was looking at it in the chat, and I was like, all right, I need to figure this out before I bring him up and say hey, and I still messed it up. But Hale, good to see you.
All right, everyone forgives you.
I think it's become pretty commonplace here in the show. People know I fuck people's names up all the time. I can't read that well because of my dyslexia, so I'm always stumbling over shit. Yeah. Embrace weebery. That's true. I like it.
Very good.
Joe was homeschooled. I was homeschooled. That could be why. Just saying. Got Joshua 45 in the house. Says hail CG. Hail to you. Yeah, pretty much. Let's take a look at this trailer here real quick. Let me, if I can do this right. Yeah.
Nice. Let's have a little look.
There you go.
Oh man, that made me want to like get the glow sticks out and like do some raving.
You like the EDM music? Yeah.
Yeah, is that what these cool kids say these days? You know,
what
it's
they call
rave.
it,
Is that
yeah.
what we do?
That's like a teaser. The real trailer will come out in a couple of weeks, but I just needed to make sure I had something, for when we launched. But yeah, it gives you a real basic premise. But yeah, the official trailer is going to blow people away. So I'm excited to reveal that when it's done.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now the book sounds really fun. Again, you got 17 days left. I mean, this thing just a week into this, and you're already at almost $21,000 raised. Smash that flexible goal. 172 backers. That's impressive, man. That's really cool. You got let's see, all four. So issues 0 through 3 for 75.
Yeah, they're all I can show you too. So like
yeah,
they're all gonna look.
Blow you up here.
This. So I see how like this is like that foil.
Oh yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
so
what's
they'll
up.
all look like that, or even if I have one here. Here we go. This is a good foil one too.
I'm a sucker for foil and shit like that. Like 90s stuff.
Yeah.
That looks good, man. That looks really good.
This one picks up better on camera. The other one looks actually nicer in person, but this one picks better on camera. So every issue is going to be this quality. And so you're never going to get just a basic floppy. It's all going to be hardcover, or not hardcover, like card stock. It's going to have nice paper on the inside. And if you signed up for the email, I sent out a secret tier, and you can get that Comics Gators versus X Them. It's a wraparound cover. I think that's $25. That's issue 0, and we sold. I think we might have sold more of that than anything. I think we might be at 85 on that already.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that came out pretty good. But that tier is up for as long as the campaign is up. If you signed up for the email, then you can always go check your inbox and click on it, and that secret tier will be there. And if you get that and you're like, well, I still want the 3 issues, on the checkout, you can get the 3 issues in addition to that. And because we had a huge request for it, you can get a second print of Hail Salad on the way out as well. So if you're interested in that book, that's actually getting reviewed pretty well. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, I just got mine. I have not had a chance to look through it yet, but I did get mine.
Oh, you got it. Oh, cool.
Yeah. I absolutely did. I forgot to. Okay, guys, if I have any mods in the chat, please drop some links to these campaigns, because I forgot, like a dumbass, to put them into the description below. But I will take care of that after we are live. So if anybody's interested in these things, please go to the links below, and I'll have them down there. And if not, there'll be some stuff here in the chat, I'm sure, as well, because I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to see these things. Because I think this looks awesome. It sounds fun. If you look at, there's a lot of people that make some awesome books. Not a lot of people make like funnier books, right? And there's definitely a market for that. And it's nice to have a little bit of a break, because like my book is very dark. It's very dark in its premise. I know a lot of other books out there have the same kind of like dark aspects. So when you get a chance to have kind of a humorous book, just something that kind of takes you away from that, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to have that break.
Yeah, I would compare it to, I mean, it's not a parody, but I would compare it to like like the 80s Ninja Turtles stuff, where it's like it takes itself seriously, but it's not self-serious. And it's not, it's not something where you're like, oh, they think they're, telling War and Peace or, like Citizen Kane or anything like that. But, it
Right.
works within the context of the story and the realm of the characters and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's, it's fun. There's jokes. It's just going to be a good time all around. It's not, for such a heavy topic, it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. That was kind of the intent.
Yeah, that's awesome. We got Horror Mike in the house. We also got Nicholas Gear, another member of the channel as well. Rob said mod him. I thought you were already modded on this channel. That's crazy. Simple and Vaughn, thank you for dropping the links. Appreciate you. Hail to you.
Very cool.
All right. Just want to make sure I caught that. There we go. Cool. Well, Rob, you're modded now. So as long as you better
Congrats,
be posting
Rob.
some shit.
Well
better
done,
be posting
Rob.
some shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure you want to give him that much power?
I don't know,
No.
man. I don't know.
It's kind of
I had
scary,
him,
man.
I had him modded over on Ott and stuff, so I feel like it's only fair that I have him modded here. I thought he actually he was already, but
grandfather
oh,
in.
already going to his head.
Oh, man.
Already going to his head. That
We're
quick.
fucked.
That quick. Oh, jeez. It was a mistake, Hail Dean. Casablanca will be the next War and Peace. Yes. I love it.
Ooh.
We got Slacker 23. Hail CG. Hail to you. Got a lot of names in here I haven't seen in a little while. Hope everybody is doing good on this Thursday. This is a brand new show we are doing here on this channel, kind of in place for Ott and stuff right now. When Sean gets back, I'm sure we will start Ott and stuff again. I just don't know when that's going to be, and I want to make sure we have a channel on here where we're still bringing on creators and talking about their books and getting new eyes on projects. Just giving the platform that we all need as creators to get out there and get our work looked at. All right, Rob. There you go. Good job.
Nice.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
That's what's up. That's what's
Rob
up.
just Rob hasn't been on the last couple of game shows, and he just wants to keep his job. So it's understandable. I get it.
Oh, I need to mod Amanda too. I haven't. So many people I haven't modded on this channel. Apparently, apologize for that. Yeah, man, that sounds awesome. I look forward to more success with that. I mean, like again, great start. Got lots of time to go on this. Again, Hail Salad over 50. This is trending in that direction. I think that's hell of a successful couple years.
Yeah,
in my
I hope
opinion,
it-
like that.
I
That's
hope it,
fucking awesome.
Continues. It's been an interesting road the last week and a half because it's a very, very niche book. And
Yeah.
so like it's not house style. And it's like it's sort of superhero based, but it's also kind of Twilight Zone based. So I recognize that it has to be of interest to the people who are into that kind of stuff. And when people ask me to describe it, I'm like, it's if Batman joined the X-Men and then there was a Back to the Future premise, that's essentially what it is. And that's that's for some people, and it's not for others. So, but it's I hope it does well. I hope it continues to do well, and it's there it is.
First of all, hail Eddie Winkler. Good to see you, brother.
What's up,
Says,
Eddie?
hello, everyone.
Eddie.
Great to see Isaac on the show. Been a fan for a long time. But like what Isaac said earlier, being the fact that it is a niche book and that you already are at that start, and that Hail Salad did so good. I mean, that's great because I don't want to say it's easier, but it's you kind of have a built-in fan base when you do stuff kind of like what Isaac and I do. Like we know that we're going to appeal to like the 90s kids and all that kind of stuff with our characters, with the art, and but to have a niche book like that just take off, I definitely think that's impressive, man. Congratulations. Looking
impressive.
forward to it continuing.
Oh, thanks, guys.
So like I said, you're going to be on with Mandy at 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure we covered you before you had to dip, so you can dip anytime you want, man. You can come, you can hang out and chill. We'll just have some
I'll
comic
hang
book
out
talk
till I have to go. Yeah, it's fine with me.
Awesome.
Cool.
Let's let me share the screen. Isaac, what is up,
What's up, man? Do you need a link to my thing? I mean,
I got your link in the private chat for the Akira Curiosity. Yeah, I got that. I'll bring that up here in a second.
Yeah. All right.
For those of you that don't know Isaac, Isaac, you want to give a fill-in of who you are and what you've been doing and your projects that look fucking awesome.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, my name is Izik Bell, as it says on the thing, and I've been making this series Metal Shade with my girlfriend Alexa, and we've been doing that for a couple years now. We've been on Kickstarter, but I have something up right now on BackerKit actually, and I sent you the link, Joe. It's in the private chat. I don't know. That would be better than our website. Although we do have lots of stuff on our website too.
I'll
I
pull
mean,
that up. Hold on a second.
the first
Let
2
me
issues are in print and they're available. But what I'm most excited about is the most recent issue that we've done, which is issue 0. And it's the actual physical books aren't coming in until December, and we'll be fulfilling like late December, early January. But then those will be in the shop too. But if you like digital comics, you can get the digital copy of issue number 0 right now from our website.
Nice.
So, and then BackerKit. See, it's not Kickstarter. I have everything up available for pre-order right now, and that stuff is already at the printers, and it's coming in December, like I said.
So you did a Kickstarter for 0, right?
Yeah.
And then now you're doing the Backer. I've heard of BackerKit but I have not really looked into it. Can you explain it? Just as another obviously it's a crowdfunding platform, because you've got 75K here pledged already. That's awesome.
Well, that's so we really did like 10K on BackerKit, because it's like you port your campaign over from Kickstarter, because Kickstarter doesn't have in demand.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of like the in demand way of doing it. Okay, I got you.
Kind of, and it's set up to help us like fulfill and print labels and do all of that stuff, and it makes everything very organized. So, but he hates
it.
Man, it's such
a
hater.
Is an actual store. Okay.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So I would say there are good things about it, but it's not as good as in demand in a lot of ways. Like when your stuff is sitting up on in demand, it's still on Indiegogo, so you get those like random people browsing Indiegogo that just see your stuff on there. I mean, I've pledged to a lot of stuff that way, but I don't think people browse BackerKit in that same way, at least not yet.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I've heard of it, but I didn't know that it had that kind of function. So I've never
do that.
Yeah, I've never even gone there and actually even looked.
Yeah,
but
it's cool because another thing that it allows you to do is like when everyone's filling out their like surveys. I don't know if Indiegogo has a different name for it, but when they're filling out their information, they have the chance to add stuff on too. So we make some new stuff available in the BackerKit that wasn't in the Kickstarter, and stuff like that. So it is good, but in demand it probably has some. Hey, thanks, Jonas.
Nice. Hail, Jonas. Good to see you. Everyone is really digging Metal Shade. Kayla said Metal Shade is pure awesomeness. Look at it.
Thanks, Kayla. Kayla's awesome too.
She is awesome. One of our co-hosts on Appreciating Comic Book Art live on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock. Everybody check it out. We look at some awesome, badass comics on there, and mostly 90s stuff, but it's not always 90s stuff, but we get into some good conversations. It's a fun show. Runko Pop said they're actually doing their own crowdfunding campaigns now too, I think. Interesting. People use it with their Kickstarters all the time. It's a lot, and it's lots of questions. People used it with their Kickstarters all the time, and it's lots of questions.
I think he means that when you go to fill out the survey, there are like questions that you.
Oh, I got you.
But that's really on the creator. Like you can put as many questions in as you want or not. So we don't really do that. So
how many pages is one issue?
32. Just regular comics. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about what Reaper Destroyer is going to be too. It's 30. It's absolutely 32. It might be 40 by the time I'm done with it. See what I can put in there. We got Joe Ball in the house. Hail, Joe. Good to see you. He says Death is closing at 73K. The quest is to get to 100K. Isn't out of reach. If you like Bible lore, Transformers, and Berserker, this is the book for you. That is awesome. Everybody go check that out. Is that closing? That's in demand, so it's closing in at 73K. I definitely think that could get to definitely get to 100K with that one. I know a lot of people are digging on that book. Great art, huge book. It's a huge book. I can't believe it's that many pages. I would I'd have a heart attack drawing that many pages. I would say that. But hail, Joe, good to see you. Yeah, that's some cool shit.
Yeah, and then you got a lot of Alexa's art in there too.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah. But I mean, you know, we're currently
Okay,
working
thanks.
on yeah, that one was
That's
fun
huge.
to draw.
Yeah, I bet.
That's why my book is only 32 pages. But
I have a lot of respect for people that can do more than that. But it's a daunting task, man. I mean, the style of art that I do and you do, is heavily detailed. But then again, you look at Joe's style and his death,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's a
very
shit ton
detailed.
of fucking detailed as well, and
Yeah.
he's still killing it. So I don't know if I actually have an excuse there.
So do one of you pencil and ink and the other one colors, or how does it work?
yeah. So Alexa colors. So she does the colors, and then she does edits my script. And I already proposed.
There you go. There you go.
She's actually my fiance.
It done
Technically.
happened.
It just sounds like
Congratulations.
such a fancy word,
It is.
feel
It's
weird
right.
using it. They should make a like more common word for it, and then I would use it. But yeah, my fiance. And,
yeah, hella talented.
She is,
woman
man.
right there.
She's
Yeah.
so good. Like, you guys should see, like, when we're at the conventions, her art just like stops people in their tracks, and it's a little rough because I'm standing there too, like, hell am I,
Right.
chop liver, But yeah, the original art all got snapped up on the first 3 days.
Kickstarter.
So I do have some originals on. Thanks, Kayla. But I do have originals on the on our website, and we also have a Whatnot channel that we've been selling some originals from.
Can you explain that a little bit? Because I'm hearing about Whatnot. I've been seeing people, especially like Rob Liefeld seems to be there all the time. What is Whatnot?
So it's just an app that you can do auctions on, and the way it's set up, like people pay for their stuff, and then those funds aren't released to you until you have printed your labels and your stuff is on the way. So it's kind of like fuckery proof, So
Okay.
and it's awesome, man. Like our guy has been doing stuff on there, and it's been like really successful, and we don't even have a ton of stuff in print yet. So
wow,
we're definitely working on that. It's definitely made for if you have you get your books in print, get yourself nice variants and everything, and then go crazy on there because it's a great platform.
We got B Rose in the house, a member of the channel. He says, "Hail to you." Also, the groomsman said, "Isaac, you should have made your proposal a stretch goal." Now that is an idea. Yeah, that's an idea.
Good call. Good
thinking. We got Peter in the house as well. Hail, brother. Good to see you. Let's see. Started having them kids while you're young. I started at 36. I'm 40 now, and these kids brutalize me. I feel you, dude. Me too. My first, my only one right now. I think we had Emma when I was 37. I'm 40 now. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. I get you.
Wow.
But yeah, you guys make a hell of a cool duo. The colors are awesome. The art is awesome. The book is, I got 0 here. I'm really looking forward to reading it when it arrives. I need to go back and get your other release as well. I haven't got a chance to do that yet.
Dude, just hit me up and I'll throw those in the package for you.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a learning process too. Like I went into all of this so recklessly, just like, I gotta make my fucking comic, man. Like my whole life, all I wanted to do is make this goddamn comic, and I would always start it and then be like, man, this sucks, and give up. And so yeah, finally I was like, man, I'm just gonna make it and put it out there. And the first issue is I think it's still pretty good. I think the art holds up and everything. The second issue, it's not my favorite, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that, I mean, I think I made a lot of mistakes on it. And it's kind of a good thing because I was a little bit down on myself about that. So then issue 0, I just went crazy on. I was like, man, I have to just make this the best thing I've ever made. And I have a little bit of experience now, so yeah.
What's the story?
So it's about an occult strike force that becomes entangled in a war with the ancient gods of their world. So the whole story takes place in another dimension where spellcraft and science coexist. And yeah, I mean, things are super corrupt. And there's this corporate head called Aaron Thorne, who's been like kind of rising through the ranks of this corrupt system. And she's like kind of playing chess, you know? So like, and that's the direction I want to go with this, is have a lot of mind games going on around all the action and stuff like that. That really appeals to me. Like there are a lot of like animes that I've seen that are like that, like Death Note type stuff, you know, where it's it's a chess match, you know, there's a lot of, you know, there are different intellects that are like moving the pieces around. So that's kind of where I want to go with it. But where we're at now is kind of setting these things up, because I have all these characters and I don't want to do the old school Image thing and just like throw them all out there without like setting up backstories and all that stuff.
Right.
So I'm trying to find a balance between like taking my time with that, but then also getting into some action and like having those big battles and like those big fight scenes with all the detail and shit. So that's kind of where we're at with it. I have the first arc all figured out. I have 2 more issues to finish for that. But what I'm actually really excited about is the arc after that, because, you know, that's when things are going to start coming to fruition.
See, that's what I love about the ongoing stories, right? I'm
Yeah.
the same way. Like, I've got a story arc I'm very excited about. This 2 story arcs away, you know? It's just like, God, dang, it's gonna be, you know, like
you gotta build it, man.
Yeah, I gotta build to get there. Eddie Winkler for 2, thank you, brother, says never give up. A cat on a poster told me that once. Always listen to posters.
The best advice come from cats on posters.
Yeah. Drew G says that artwork looks great. Metal
you.
Shade 1 and 2 are fired. Don't let Isaac fool you. We got Snake
Thanks,
Dog in
Chauncey.
the house. He says, hail Joe, hail Isaac, hail Camel Moon. Hail to you, brother. Good to see
What's
you.
up, man?
Camel, before you have to get out of here, I was going to say, like, what was it? And this is for both you guys. We'll start with Camel. What was it that made you really want to get into comics and then really get into the crowdfunding game?
I mean, it's, you know, that's a 4-hour story. You know, it like a lot of people, like I just turned 40 last week. You know, it wasn't like
Congratulations.
a decision
yeah,
I made it. It wasn't a decision that, you know, I woke up one day and was like, this is the, you know, many steps kind of lead you here. But I had worked in the film industry for a while, and I started to realize that there was a glass ceiling about 12 miles thick. And I was like, this is insane. And it was just kind of crazy. And so I my first love was always comics. I went to the School of Visual Arts to learn comics. Klaus Janson was actually my teacher.
Really?
And,
I did not know that. That's awesome.
yeah. And so I've worked at Hasbro making Batman toys, and I've done a bunch of different things. And I got back into comics because I felt like trying to make a movie became very problematic because it required so much money and so many people's undivided attention. And I was like, if I do a comic, I only need to rely on myself. And it felt much more like a meritocracy. And so I was like, I'm going to just do my own book. And I, you know, went to start trying to get it out there. And this was right around the time that everyone and their mother thought that, oh, maybe I'll make a comic book. And then you started going to Comic Cons, and it was very much like, well, if you're not a trans, bi, you know, minority, whatever, forget it, get out of here. And I was seeing people around me get hired with really bad ideas and really bad art. And I would get this shtick of, we don't draw like that anymore. or that story is passe or whatever. And I was like, okay. So this just feels kind of like a hustle. And, you know, I started listening to EVS, but by coincidence, what happened was I was like trying to bone up on how to get a good portfolio review. And so I Googled or YouTube portfolio reviews. EVS was doing portfolio reviews at the time. And then
Gotcha.
he started doing the more the CG type stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm not alone. I'm not a crazy person. Like I totally thought it was me. And I was like, no, it's the industry that's going bonkers. And
That's for sure.
yeah, and then before I knew it, I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe this is an avenue to explore. And I mean, anyone who knows me or has heard me talk in the last 2 years has heard this, but I was just like, let me try this hail salad thing as a kind of a joke, and it exploded, and I just had no idea it was going to explode like that. And
Right.
before I knew it, I was like, we made on that campaign, it was the same as this. We made $20,000 in the first week, and I was just floored. And so, yeah, that's kind of the story. It's again, that I could go into a lot more detail about it, but that's essentially what happened.
Very cool. Izik, what about you, man? Because I know you've been around since the Liefeld message boards, old school.
Well, yeah, I've been around, but like I don't have any experience in the industry, whatsoever. I've always just been kind of doing my own thing. I did used to take my portfolio to conventions and just get advice from artists. I'd always go find like badass artists and
same here.
It's like, yeah, see if I could level up a little bit, and that helped a lot. But I think that like growing up with the image revolution, like those guys were my heroes. Like I never wanted to work for Marvel or DC or work for some big company. I wanted to do my own book, have my own characters. And I've been like, doing this stuff, like just not very well for my whole life, like trying to make little comics and shit. So yeah, I mean, that's it.
Mighty Magic said I started making my comic because of CG. It's funny, Camel, that you mentioned that, because same thing, Izik, like when I was growing up as a teenager, I wanted to work for Image so bad. And like that was it. I call myself a child of Image. That was where I wanted to be. That's where all my influences were. That's where the talent was. That's where the cool characters were. And I loved Marvel. I loved Marvel characters and DC characters, but it was like there's something about Image. And those that watch this channel on a regular basis, my love for Image and the Image founders. And it was when I got out of music and started, thinking about doing comics again. Image wasn't what it used to be. It was a shell of itself, still is. And I was looking at that time like, all right, well, I'll get in the industry. And when I found out what the industry was like at the time, because I'd been out of comics for like 10 years, I hadn't really been paying attention to too much what was going on. It was a real shock, to see what was going on in the industry, what the important things were, in comics these days. And it was, I happened on to an EVS show and I watched that. I was like, oh, that's Cyberfrog dude. I knew him from the 90s. I knew Cyberfrog. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, cool, Cyberfrog's back. I didn't know anything about CG. And that was kind of it. And I just stumbled onto it and started learning about it from there. And it was like, this makes sense. This seems to be like where the energy is, where the fun's at, and it still is. And you look at stuff like Camel's book, his former book, stuff like your stuff. Reaper Destroyer is doing great, and then just a ton of other examples of creators out here in the indies, but also in Comicsgate. They're just absolutely killing it, because that's where the fun books are. That's your book, Izik, reminds me of stuff that I would have read like in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Robin the Replicator. Like this, it's I don't know. I think it's so much better than the mainstream industry right now that is absolutely absolutely dying. So. Yeah. If you guys get a chance to support the indie scene, with a lot, because it might not come out on a regular basis, monthly basis or whatnot, but there's a real true passion and love of the characters and the story within this scene than there is anything you're going to get at your LCSs. And I love the LCSs, and it sucks that they're just in a bad spot, but crowdfunding right now and indie books is where it's at.
I agree. Guys, I got to bounce. I'm so sorry.
All right, brother. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
everybody. Sorry, I'm having a hard time breathing. Everybody go out and check Boots and Heels out on Indiegogo right now, funding. Go back it. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Thanks very much, guys. Okay. Take it easy.
Absolutely.
See you, man.
Yep, bye.
Camel Moon's gonna be jumping over. I think Mandy's gonna be streaming here at 9. So everybody go support him definitely support him. Let's see what I miss here. What did Rob say? I brought him up, but what did he actually say? Things we know about Joe. He loves the 90s, loves Image, and was in a rock band. That's true. That's all you need to know.
That sounds about Joe.
That's it. That's all you need to know. I got Maromi in the house. Good to see you. All right, what did I miss so far? So many of the smaller guys are doing awesome, breaking 50K a lot more often. Yes, I'm living proof of that. Again, humbled every day that Reaper Destroyer is doing as good as it's doing. And I see it more often because I think the more the people understand what crowdfunding is, and I've discovered that there's a lot of people out there that don't know what it is. It's kind of a niche thing right now, I guess you could say. I went to a con back in July. It might have been July. It was in Chicago, and you'd be surprised at how many people I talked to that had no idea what crowdfunding was. Because I had flyers for Reaper Destroyer, and I was telling people about it, and nobody, like the normal comic book fan, had no idea.
Well, a lot of those people aren't necessarily normal comic book fans. You know what I mean? Like the conventions are so full of I get that all the time at the conventions. And a lot of those people, they don't necessarily go to the comic shops or, follow this series or that. Like the conventions, are these big fun spectacles. So they bring out all kinds of people.
True.
So
true.
And you're probably totally right about that. But I feel like the general comic book reader it would be hard for them not to know anything about the crowdfunding scene at this point, I think. So many books, especially like Lady Death and
right. Yeah.
She. It's a big thing. And when you see big name creators like that make the choice to switch from regular distribution to do their own thing, it really shows that actually there is real value here, and there's a reason for that, So, and a lot of those little indie books going through regular distribution, they get canceled all the time. They get like 3 issues. Yeah.
Kayla said it's bad when the target market they are marketing books to complains that the books suck. Yeah, I've been talking to Kayla about that before. Like even the supposed people they're trying to really market these books to are not liking these books. That says a lot. There's true comic book collectors, and I think that goes back to this: the people that love the story, they love the characters. They don't necessarily need the political stuff added in, the representation for them to enjoy it. I never worried about any of that stuff when I was reading comics when I was a kid. As long as the comics was cool, I didn't care race or anything of that matter. It was just cool comics, that's what I was there for. And I think that's what we are all presenting to people. That's what we're giving to people. I think people dig that. Funko Pop collectors. Yeah. Hail Survive Infinity 0088. Good to see you. Also got the Green Laser in the house. Hail to you. Good to see you guys. Let's see. Okay. I was going to invite Rob on for a second, but he never comes on anyway. So
yeah, bring him on.
Rob, if you want to jump on for a little bit before
chat, Rob.
Yeah, before we jump off here,
sure, he's got all kinds of shit to say.
Does this Bakery, is this a trailer here?
Yeah, dude, play the trailer,
right,
man. I worked hard on that thing.
All right, let's do it. Here we go.
Yeah. If it's shitty quality, then you can go to the Kickstarter one.
Okay.
If I can even send you the. Here, hold on. I'll send
just send me a link to it. Yeah, I want to check it out. For some reason, that one's not playing.
Man, that's fucking lame.
Guys, we've had over 60 people here in the chat pretty steadily. Remember to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate it. All right.
So I sent the link.
Okay, yeah, let me get to
I will say that my big gripe with mainstream comics is exactly that they just said fuck the continuity. And that's what I loved so much when I got into comics. It was like we were all in second grade, like trading the Marvel cards, and just the idea that all of these characters had these like shared histories together. There's all this continuity that mattered, It was like they had all this history together, and that's completely gone out the window for like, it's long gone now.
Yeah,
So-
the whole reboot thing, or like obviously DC's done it now, like what 3 times in the last 20 years or something like that. Yeah, I dislike it because when I was a kid, it didn't matter to me that Spider-Man went back to 30 years before I was alive. It was cool to kind of look back, and not necessarily like I was trying to collect all the issues, but you had that history. It was just cool to have the history. Like I didn't need Spider-Man rebooted to be a younger Peter Parker again, and have a retelling of stories in a more modern way. Like that just wasn't necessary to me. It was cool to have that history.
Well, like the first comics I ever read as a kid were those Spider-Man comics by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and those were great
nice.
stories.
Those
for
were
kids.
good. Yeah, they
you
were
know,
good.
like I love those comics, and yeah. So I mean, and then I would read the modern comics of the '90s and be like, "Damn, what the hell happened in the past like 30 years?" But like, there was a history there. Shit did happen, and you could like
Yeah.
fill it in if you wanted to, but not anymore. So
I
and
always
it's,
love.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I always love the idea that the characters really didn't age. They were kind of, I mean, they did a little bit within stories, but they were stuck within this kind of immortal aspect. And you could just tell as many stories as you want with Peter Parker as an adult now, or when he was a kid. The X-Men, that was cool because you could jump in at any time, see the characters in their prime, having awesome stories, and if you want to go back and read older stuff, you could, and experience some of the awesome art.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing I will bring up about crowdfunding. Because one thing that I've heard over and over from people at conventions when I talk about my comic and how I'm going to do this long ongoing series, they always tell me like, no, do like 3 issues and then restart with issue 1. Because that's how it works in distribution. You only make money off of your like first issue. And, or at least that's what they all tell me. And
Right.
so I say, fuck that for one thing. And, but like for another, here's a great example. Dan Mendoza, when he got the rights to his character Zombie Tramp back, and he's in crowdfunding, obviously, he didn't even start Zombie Tramp at issue 1 when he had all the opportunity in the world for it. He started with issue 56B and then
There
did
you go.
$250,000. So fuck all
Yep.
that stuff, man. Like
the one is good for the collectors. That's it. Not necessarily because there's a lot of collectors that might not be fans of the books. They're just like collecting ones because it might be something someday, right?
It won't because it's not a first
right.
appearance. It's just a revamp.
Exactly.
It'll never be
exactly.
worth money, and it's overprinted because it's an issue number 1.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
like a misconception among the speculators. But yeah.
Kayla said too many changes are forced changes, lazy writing, too many mantle passes, horrible editing, people getting jobs not based on their work but to fill a quota. The list can go on and on. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's take a look at this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Badass trailer here. Wait, where's it at? There it is.
There we go.
There we go.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah, there we go. Yes. That is awesome, man.
Hey, thanks,
I
man.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, I had fun
Oh.
with that. It was all just like iMovie is like basically a slideshow with some cool music.
I mean, that's all you really need, right? Yeah, get the cool music in there. You show off the art. You know, you got enough of telling what the story's about. What I like is you can really see the expansive world and the characters that you have. I mean, you got massive amount of characters. You know, your roster in this book seems like never ending. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's because my whole life these characters have been in my head, you know. So now I'm like finally I have a skill set where I feel like I can actually, you know, draw them and kind of bring them to life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and that's actually a problem too, you know. Like I'm trying to, you know, be clear about everything in the story. So, and there are a lot of moving pieces.
Hail Lazarus. Also, we got Pumps back in the house as well. Itchy 5 as well.
Thank you.
Isaac, do you do voiceover work? You have a very sexy, chill voice, dude. Enjoy your content.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I've never done voiceover work, but I am going to do a voiceover on one of my own videos. Let's see how that goes.
You should do it. It's fun. I've only done voiceover work for one trailer, and that was the oh fuck, what's the name of it? Now I feel like shit. Lost. No.
Come on, man.
God dang it. What is it called? Never mind. When
I got to look it up, though. I got to hear
this.
When
it comes to me, I will let you all know. I can't believe I forgot the name of the book.
Hey, thank
I'm
you.
an asshole.
Thank you, Mighty Magic, though. Thank you for the question, I should say. You know, right now it's between Shrine and this chick called Cinecore. I like drawing the sexy ladies. So if you know who Shrine is, she's the chick with white hair, and she has the like upside down crescent moon on her chest. So
did I add sexy to it? That's what I swore that's what it said.
I am American.
There you go.
Yeah, I am American.
Sorry, Rob. Sorry. Not one of yours. Sorry.
Very American.
Whatever it's called, they're not calling you back. I know. Now they're not.
Burnt that bridge, bro.
No, I'm drawing a blank. I can't believe I forgot the name of the book.
It'll come to you as soon as the stream's over.
Yeah, as soon as it's over and nobody's in the chat anymore. Yeah. So now I just look like an asshole, and that's the lasting memory everybody will have.
Oh man, my brain does that to me all the time, bro.
Yeah, the older I get, it just seems to get worse. You know.
Oh yeah, no, my name is just Izik. It's like ISAAC on my birth certificate, so it's not anything special. I just changed it to it's like a pen name. I've been spelling my name like that since I was like in junior high. I used to spell my name all different kinds of ways just because I don't know, do weird stuff, I guess.
I can see a bit of Nip Shadow. Very nice depiction of the ladies. Yes, I mean,
I really like drawing the sexy ladies. I mean,
you got to, right? Because they're going extinct. You know, they're going extinct these days. It's like there's a backlash of
I don't know where you're at, man.
Well, in the mainstream.
In comics. In comics. Yeah. For sure. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're taking the sexy out of comics.
They are. Yeah. We got
the exact opposite of what your co-host Justin Timberlake told us all to do. So
that's right. That is right. Shout out to Sean, miss you, brother. A sexy lady is a must. I mean, come on. Look at the 90s comics. You had to have the badass male characters, right? You know, like you just had to have them. But you also had to have these awesome, strong, sexy female characters as well. And they were full, you know, all over the 90s. All over the 90s. I mean, if you were a young kid, adolescents, you know, 12, 14-year-olds like I was, I mean, that was the best time for reading comics when it came to sexy females, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Well, so one thing I will say, like, you know, I'm with you. I love the 90s. But I think that there are a lot of mistakes in the 90s that we can learn from too.
Oh, 100%.
So one of the things about the sexy ladies in the 90s is like every single chick was sexy, you know, like it's actually better if you mix it up because it makes the sexy characters look even sexier, I guess.
That's true.
Put it. Yeah.
I can see that. The only thing is exciting Existing of sexy pinups is J. Scott Campbell, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, I'd say they're still out there, but they're just not.
I can't even comment because
What's
it's
the
been
word?
so long since I've read a mainstream comic. I guess I am excited for Mark Silvestri's thing though.
Fuck yeah, dude!
You know he's gonna have some sexy ladies.
Did you catch Tuesday's show when Kayla and I were looking at that black and white New York Comic Con ashcan?
What? No, is that the Batman thing?
Yeah.
Do you wish he was doing the darkness instead?
I wish he was doing both. We'll say that, right? Because the Batman stuff looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks amazing, and I'm glad he's doing it because right now, I don't know, I haven't read Batman in a long time, so I think like the Batman Spawn stuff is going to be cool, Capullo, but the Silvestri stuff is just it's off the charts. Like I'm anticipating it so much. I'm excited for the darkness because he's writing it, but I don't know who's drawing it. I have no idea who's drawing it, so I don't know what the style art is, and that's a hard. To me, the darkness is Silvestri. I know there's been other artists that's drawn some the darkness, but like if you're gonna reboot the darkness or whatever you're doing, you got to have an artist that's going to be up in that level at least, of style. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, like Michael Broussard or
man, yeah, that would be awesome. To get him
even
back,
Benitez, he would never do it, but that would
Benitez,
Benitez
probably never
did a
would.
sick darkness though back in the day.
I love Broussard's work though. Like,
yeah,
he did a really good darkness. Obviously, Keown killed it on the darkness when he was doing his run.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like, I have no idea who's going to draw the new darkness, so that's going to be interesting for me to see the style art because I'll tell you this, as much of a fan as I am of Top Cow, I've not been a big fan of their artist selections as of late. Yeah. Like the artists that it doesn't seem like Top Cow art to me,
No, they used to have a house style and they produced all of the top artists. I mean, Dave Finch, Joe Benitez, fucking Ebass, like Kenneth Rockefeller, their list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
All the best artists pretty much, I mean, even Del Keown was at Top Cow, Stephen Platt was at Top Cow for a little while. I mean,
yeah, they had some fantastic artists back in the day. I mean, I have no idea what, again, like I said, Image as a whole, including the studios within Image, like Top Cow and whatever else is left right now, the art is, it's disappointing to say the least, and I don't like to bash other artists, but I gotta say like what I feel as a collector of art, because that's what I am. And we all know I don't get comics for the story, I get comics for the art. And if the story's good, great. But like I want to look at awesome art. And I look at these books and I just don't see that awesome art. Brett Booth right now, Gunslinger Spawn, is probably the best thing that I see coming out of Image. Art wise, and it sucks because they used to have some of the best artists all across the board.
Well, it's a different animal, right? I mean, back then it was a bunch of renegade artists, all the best artists doing their own thing. So of course, but now just being like an indie publisher, like, it's just a whole different thing. And that's not the trend right now, that kind of like heavily stylized, like very detailed kind of art. So, which in a way is, I don't know how to feel about it because I'm kind of glad that it's not in the mainstream. Like I kind of want it to be like my own special thing. And
right.
I mean, for us, like
that's a good point.
We don't need mainstream support because we have our own followings that are supporting our books that love this kind of art, and they're not going to be able to get it in the mainstream. So it's kind of good for us in a lot of ways.
It's actually a very good point. It is a very good point. And it's funny because when I started showing off art for Reaper Destroyer on various social media platforms, I would get a lot of people that would either hit me up in the comments or send me messages and was just saying like, I miss this style of art, or you remind me of this, or whatever. And so that is good because we are drawing that crowd to our books, to the indie scene, because they aren't getting it in the mainstream. So I guess yeah.
I mean,
I'm on board. You sold me on that. Yeah, screw it. Screw it.
Well, fuck, man. If we were trying to compete with like, if like Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and like all those guys were doing their thing right now, like I don't know if like Metal Shade would just get overlooked, you know.
I mean,
but I don't know. I don't know about that. Because back in those days, it kind of created like fertile ground for other indie stuff like Ash or like Cyberfrog, you know. I mean,
absolutely
all of that
did.
stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's the same thing as we have here. You know, rising tide lifts all ships here in CG and in the indies. I think that was the same thing. Like, yeah, when Image was at its peak and doing its thing, and you had so much talent being brought up through Image, you could just look around at other indie books that were doing the same thing. You know, either pros were doing their own thing or newcomers were doing their things and having success. Billy Tucci, EVS, all these guys, and it probably stemmed from the success that Image had because they broke away from the big two, and established that you could do books without having to work for Marvel and DC. You know, like that was absolutely what was awesome about Hail and Sandy X Draws. Good to see you. There were a couple. I want to get back to. So the groomsman said when Camel Moon was here, would love to hear all three of you guys talk about your biggest influences in comics. So I'm gonna throw that at you. I'm gonna get 3 questions here, then we'll get out of here.
Cool. I bet that you and I have really similar influences, man. Because I gotta say, like at the top of that list is gonna be like, Del Keown, Mark Silvestri, Stephen Platt. All the like. I really love the second generation Image guys, like when Greg Capullo was doing his Wildcats, his Spawn run, or there was Travis Charade, there was like even Del Keown and Sam Keith were kind of like second generation guys in a way, right?
Yeah, even though they had success at Marvel.
Even
though they had the success of Marvel, I would say that too. Yeah, they were to me like the second wave at least of second generation, second wave of Image for sure. Yeah.
Like Mike Turner. I mean, God, there's so many, dude. Yeah, it really was like such a golden age for comics. It really was.
It absolutely was. Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, I imagine you're kind of around the same age as me. I'm 39. So I think you said you're 30.
Just turned 40 this year.
You just turned 40. Yep. So yeah, dude, we got to grow up around that shit.
I say that all the time, man. Like we grew up in the best era for comics, for comic art and characters and just excitement in the comic industry was in the 90s, man. It was just killer stuff. Yeah, and the talent that was coming up that influenced me, same thing. Like all the Image guys really had an influence on me. The second wave Image guys had big influences on me because that was like an example of what you could do. I was just like, these guys are coming up through Image. Like, I want to do that. Like that was my whole goal. Like I want to be the next wave, third wave or fourth wave or whatever it was going to be in my mind at the time. Yeah, for sure. Let's not forget how good Scott Clark was. He was.
God.
Yes.
Yeah. There are so many that I guarantee we're forgetting a ton of like.
Oh, absolutely. And Nick Manipat, another guy. Yeah, just that was a cool thing about Image, and they get shit on because of various reasons. The 90s does, like the bombastic art or whatever. But the talent that Image discovered and brought up is absolutely insane.
Oh yeah,
insane, because they actually went out and gave people chances that they might not have got at Marvel or DC, or definitely wasn't getting at Marvel, DC, and they gave them the chance to get their stuff out there to grow. And some of those guys became absolutely superstars in the 90s. A lot of them are still drawing today.
Oh yeah. And you and I, the stuff we're doing now is because of all that stuff,
Yeah, hands down. If it wasn't for Image, if it wasn't for guys like Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, and Rob Liefeld, and all the other guys that came throughout the 90s, the younger guys, I would not be wanting to do comics. Like it was those guys that made me want to be an artist and want to make my own character, and actually do this thing. And lo and behold, it took me longer than I thought I was going to. When I was 18, I was like, hey, I'm the next Jim Lee. Like they're gonna see my art, and I'm gonna be
me
like,
too, man.
You just wait, man. You just wait.
It's funny because back then I thought I was the shit when I was like 18 to 20. I thought I was amazing, and I was just god awful.
Yeah.
And now that I'm like almost 40 and I'm actually like making comics and stuff, I'm like, damn, I'm still not that great. Like I still have all this room to improve.
It's
So
funny how
it's a
perception
maturing
changes.
process.
Yeah, it changes as you mature for sure. I was the same way. I'm the same way. You know, it's funny. Snake Dog said Jay Lee has a book coming. I did not know that. I didn't know he had a book coming out from Image.
That's another
cool. Check that
badass artist that second wave type guy.
His 90s stuff was awesome. The dark, heavy inks and the splatter. I like his stuff now, his modern stuff, but like there's something special about that 90s style because at the time there weren't that many artists doing that in comics, you know.
Yeah.
But when he broke out, you know, when the Marvel stuff was cool, but when he went over to Image and did like the Strike Files and the Wildcats trilogy and then Hellshock when he did Hellshock, you know, it was beautiful art to look at because you didn't expect to see that.
Yeah. I think he probably had a lot more. They gave him a lot more time to work on pages when he went over to Image. You know, he wasn't having to like bust them out. So.
I guarantee. Mighty Magic said this is off topic, but what do you guys think about the new art of the new Battle Chasers book?
I haven't seen it actually.
I don't like it because it's not Joe Mad. Yeah, that's it. Like I was hoping he would come back and actually draw it.
Is it that like kind of Americanized manga style or?
It might be. I saw it once. I was just like, I clicked away. I was like, nope. I was so pissed off when I saw examples of the art. I haven't looked at it again since then. I was like, nah, man. Like that's not what I'm looking for. Chauncey said in the 90s, if 90s Wildstorm, Image, or Extreme and Top Cow Studios existed today, which studio would you guys choose if you could pick one now? That's a great question. Izik?
So you mean just like to exist, like making comics and everything? Like, fuck, that's hard.
Like
dude.
if we could work for one of those, if they were still
work for them?
If they were still around today, still producing awesome stuff today, like they were in the 90s.
I mean, the book I always wanted to work on was actually Prophet, you know.
Prophet.
I don't know, you know, I guess I would go with that. Go with Extreme. So.
I'd probably go with Top Cow, something within Top Cow, maybe the Darkness or something like that. But yeah, I loved Extreme Studios. I loved Wildstorm.
I love
Top Cow.
So
It's yeah.
That's
it's
actually a fucked up question, Chauncey. Why you got to do that to us, man? It's like playing with our emotions over here.
I know, right? The biz is the biz. Yes, biz.
Yeah.
If Joe Mad isn't doing it, there is 0 point in the coming back. Yeah. I feel like
would be for Joe Mad to do it. You know, like
I feel like he completely missed the mark on that. Like if you're going to come back and just do, because I think he's only going to come back and wrap up the storyline because that ended like right in the middle of a storyline. So if you're going to do that, why wouldn't you come back and draw it? Because that's what people want. You know, you missed the mark on that, unfortunately.
One thing that I've noticed about creators is some of them really deeply love their characters, and some of them they were just kind of something they put together because they needed to at the time, and you can kind of tell the difference.
Yeah, not calling anybody out, Jim Lee, but you know, it's out there.
I wasn't gonna say it. But,
I'll say it. Look.
I think I have said it enough.
Yeah. I would say I love Jim Lee's art and everything he meant to the business in the 90s. That will never change. But the fact that you created such awesome characters in Image with Wildstorm, and obviously didn't care about them because when you sold the company, you pretty much let anybody do whatever they wanted with the characters and you put them up on the shelf. And the iteration we're getting now is a bastardized version of them. And you can tell, you can just tell he didn't like the characters. That's all, you know? And I could even say the same thing. You know, I love Mark Silvestri, but I could even say the same thing right now about Mark Silvestri because for such a long time, those original characters in the 90s took a back seat to whatever Top Cow became there for a while with the really extreme indie feel, you know? And so I'm not going to say he doesn't like his characters because obviously he's been bringing, doing the omnibus, bringing back Witchblade, bringing back the Darkness. They've tried to reboot Cyberforce, I don't know how many times, to no avail.
Yeah,
because they just do it wrong every single time. But I guess, kudos to Todd McFarlane, man.
Yeah,
kudos to Todd McFarlane and even Eric Larson. As much as I don't like the Savage Dragon these days or the style
last
of art,
man standing, I guess.
Yeah, like those guys are still doing their characters. They still love their characters. So kudos, hats off to those boys. Yeah, look at what DC is doing to him right now. Yeah. One of the funniest things, and we'll touch on this and then we'll jump out of here in a second. One of the funniest things I've seen lately was the post you made about Grifter. Because you're saying everything that we are all thinking, and then you get attacked by that one dude. And if you guys haven't had a chance, go to Izik's YouTube, the Metal Shade YouTube, and he put a hilarious video about this dude's attack, and it made me laugh so hard because the voice you're doing for this guy, your back and forth argument there on Facebook was so funny.
Yeah,
I wish I
that
joined
was
in. I
fun,
wish I'd seen
man.
it live. I would have definitely joined in.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A hero's
Yeah.
path for 2. Thank you, brother. He said Wildstorm missed the mark not having Brett Booth on. Yeah, and I talked to Brett when he was on the show a few weeks back, and he said they never even called him about an opportunity to come and draw any of the characters. He did a cover. They wanted him to do a cover, but they never even hinted dude, he, as far as I know, he has been championing to try to do something with Backlash or the Wildcats or Gen 13. That would have been the dude.
Yeah.
If you're going to reboot these characters, even if the story would have sucked, I still would have bought it if you had got, Booth to draw it. That would have been the dude to really pour some love into those characters. And, they missed the mark on that as well.
Yeah. Booth would have killed it.
Joe Mad got down, though, in Darkness 1 and 2. Love the characters, the whole world in those games. Oh, Darksiders.
Darksiders, yeah.
Damn dyslexia.
He's
That's why it's
fucking
getting worse
amazing.
the older I get. Hey, he's got a successful career. No shade being thrown at him for the choices he's made in his career. Obviously he's doing what he wants to do, which is, that's fine. It's just, it does suck when, you would think that he would come back and want to draw his own character.
Yeah.
You should hear what people in the shop say about it if he could handle Isaac's comment, or if he couldn't handle Isaac's. Yeah.
Well, what was funny is I did the meme, but then there was 100 comments of everyone being like, yeah, you're right.
No,
It's
I mean,
like,
honestly, so I don't know how many people in the chat are a part of the Wildstorm group on Facebook, but we are. And that's primarily what I see. I see some people that are just excited about it, but I'm just like, this is garbage. And there was a one guy. Go ahead.
No, my question to those people who are excited about it is if this is appealing to you, why was Wildstorm appealing to you in the first place? Because it used to be something completely different.
Exactly. Is
it you put the Wildcats logo on it, so that's good enough for you? Because I liked the spirit of what they were doing.
Yeah. Hail, Rick. Good to see you, brother.
That
was my point because there was somebody, and I don't try to pick fights or anything, but there was a couple people in there that were just like, why would you want this to do bad? Because if this does good, they'll give us more of these characters.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, they'll give us more crap. They won't give us these characters. They will give us stripped down versions of these characters, and they'll be absolutely dog shit. So I would rather them just sit on the shelf again than have to deal with these horrible versions. I mean, come on, you put Wildcats and you want to bring them back, and their main villain in the story are the Court of Owls for the Wildcats? Are you kidding me? That's not even a competition, and Stormwatch is coming back and they're going to be, clashing with Amanda Waller. I'm like, this is not fucking Wildstorm, man. Come on, people. Don't be so desperate. That was it. Don't be so desperate for these characters to come back that you will just accept anything.
Yeah, look, you've seen the designs. They have the chick with the shirt tie thing. What the fuck is that? Or the dude with the skull and he has no hands. It's just his sleeves tapering down. Well,
really? That, and you've taken classic characters, and Grifter looks like a fucking
Grifter.
Yeah, he looks like it's hard. They took out Warblade. They took out Maul. It's just like, nah, man, nah. I want to date that stripper, but once I do, she has to wear a snowsuit. Interesting. I like that. Though Marvel is bad now, but Wildcats and X-Men I just always loved the Wildcats X-Men. Yeah, I've said it before that the Wildstorm characters would have done way better in Marvel, way better because they were derivative or shadow of Marvel characters anyway. They had that feel with Jim Lee coming because he was drawing what he knew, storytelling wise, what he knew, and that was very much a Marvel feel to a lot of the early Image stuff, except turned up to 11. when it comes to like art and more violence and things of that nature. I think they could have definitely fit in with the Marvel universe way better than they did DC. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm not selling for the shit that they're putting out.
See, Rick hit the nail on the head there. And maybe it is a good thing that they're just like destroying all of that stuff. Maybe it's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing, but I understand what you're saying. Like, if they're not going to use it in any kind of way, just let it be. Let it be. Or sell it to somebody that's going to. I don't know. Scary Batman Jenkins says, JMS and Izik talk comics. New co-host, make it so. Make it so. I like
we
it.
have good conversations, man. We do. Yeah. It's because we're both just like passionate about this stuff. So, and I'm sure that you could tell a lot of the people in the chat are too. So
that's one thing I love about this channel, or just in general, because we get to actually talk comics around. And that was one of the big things about this channel that I wanted it to be. When I was trying to think of, what way I wanted to go, what direction I want to go with this channel, I was like, you know what? The only thing I'm really truly passionate about, and I have lots of opinions on other things, but it's talking comics. And that's, I want more comic book talk, and I want to look at comic book art from the times that inspired me and still inspired me. I can go back in the 90s and read those books and still get inspired by that art, to want to draw. So fortunately it's caught on with a bunch of people here that want to do the same thing. So with Appreciating Comic Book Art live on Tuesdays, and then with this show, this show would be a little bit more based around creators and stuff, but I do want to have comic book conversations with people when they come on this show, for sure, and not just be like a shill show. Elon Musk needs to buy Wildstar.
Yes, please.
All right, guys, we're going to jump out of here. But before, what happened? There we go. Before we do, just a reminder that I have a comic book called Reaper Destroyer. It's on Indiegogo now. We are getting ever closer to 55,000 with 822 backers. Like, that is absolutely amazing.
Damn.
Next week, I'm going to unveil the Reaper, or the Dale Keown variant cover, the entire thing. I got it all mocked up. I've been teasing it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it next week sometime. I haven't figured out what day, but we're going to show everybody what this bad boy is going to look like. It looks
so
absolutely
beautiful,
gorgeous.
man. Yeah,
oh, dude,
that's insane, dude. Dale Keown doing your cover. That's fucking gorgeous.
You want to talk about like the highlight, right, of adulthood, getting one of your childhood heroes to do a cover. And that was the thing, like, there's a lot of people that have had Dale Keown do covers, and I think that's great, but like, Dale meant a lot to me when I was a kid, like, so much to the point where I wrote him letters like all the time, at least once a month when I was a teenager, and I would actually get letters back from him. It's the craziest thing. And so to fast forward another 20, almost 30 years in the future, right? And for some, he just pops up here. He's part of CG. I actually get to converse with him and talk to him, and then bam, he's doing a cover for the first time I launched my first comic book. Like, it's just, when you think about that shit, like, that's crazy.
It's
to me,
insane, dude.
Yeah, it's insane. Jason said, I have either Destroyer tier, so I'm good on getting the Keown cover. Yes, you are. Anybody that backed the Keown cover, this is just the finished cover. So when I launched it, Dale had a sketch for the cover, and I was always going to get it finished. So it was colored by hand by Joe Chiodo, which is another 90s legend that I've always wanted to work with, So he colored this thing by hand with acrylics and some colored pencils, and just, gave it the old school touch. And then I went and got Chance Wolf, who was he was an inker, but he did the logo for Pitt. He designed the logo for Pitt and a bunch of other stuff for the Max as well. And he mocked up a version of the Reaper Destroyer logo to look like the Pitt logo for this cover. So this is supposed to be like, like a homage to Pitt #1. And I got all the original guys around Pitt #1 to jam together for the first time on this cover. So
that's so crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a highlight for me.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. But yeah, anybody got the Destroyer tier, this is included. So this is just I'm showing you the finished version. So let's see. All right, guys, we are going to jump out of here, but everybody go follow Izik, check out Metal Shade, check out Akira Akirai Studios, his YouTube. I got all the links below. Go back those books, check it out. And we are looking forward to the Indiegogo. When do you think you might be might be launching that.
Well, I got to get the print run in first for our recent thing, and then we're launching a Kickstarter in February. So maybe like March, April timeframe. So it'll be like the first half of next year is all I know at this point.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to that, man. I think it's going to be really cool. And again, you're welcome here anytime. And hopefully you make the rounds here, because I think, like you said, I think you already get a lot of support from Comicscape, but to get you out in this community a little bit more, because I think this is a campaign and product I think would do really well over here. Really well. Get you on channels like Bancroft. I don't know if you've been on Bancroft's channel yet.
No,
Michael
I
Bancroft.
haven't been on anyone's channel.
Okay.
I'm very shy, actually, but,
Well,
you're my buddy, so
yeah,
I like talking with you.
Well, you do great. You should get on Bancroft's channel because it's good exposure, and I think you would do great over there as well. But you're welcome here anytime, man. It was a hell of a good time talking with you.
You too.
And time just flew by. I was going to do this for only an hour, but I was like, fuck, man, that was such a good time. Let's go a little bit longer.
Yeah. Great talking to you, man.
Oh, before we get out of here, let everyone know where we can follow you, just in general, besides the links below.
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter. It's Insidious Izik. I need to change it to something easier because no one knows how to spell Insidious. But it's at Insidious Izik. I can send you a link or something. But yeah, that's about it. I'm on. It's probably easier to find me on Facebook. Actually, you can just look up my name.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Twitter link below, guys. Otherwise, just look up Izik on Facebook. Here is how you spell it, I guess.
Yeah, actually, if you just Google Izik Bell,
Cities.
since it's
There we
such
go.
a weird name, if you just Google it, you'll find all my stuff comes up.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, Rick, I'll shoot you a link after we're done here. So, all right, guys, I will be back next Tuesday. I don't know what we're doing, what we're looking at, me and Caleb, but we'll figure something out. Again, we got the Dale Keown cover reveal coming next week. Next Thursday, we're going to be back here with Pump Spec is going to be on. I'm going to have another guest as well. So we're still working on that. But this is the new show on Thursdays. We're going to just talk comics, have creators on, and just try to get more exposure to everybody while we were waiting for Ott and stuff to return. So inside us, yes, deep inside. Deep inside, like I say. All right, everybody, we appreciate you being here. We will talk to you all later. Izik, stick around until the outro is done. We'll just wrap it up. So everyone have a great night. And as always, be good to each other and picture me naked.